Welcome to Being at Home with George. I'm so excited to be here and so excited about this idea, this possibility of being able to embrace whatever comes up, saying yes to it, and at the same time generating a hope. Today, I'd like to talk about grace. A friend of mine asked me to talk about grace, and I thought that was excellent because one of the things that I am committed to, one of the things that I can be counted on to do is to be pursuing excellence and wisdom with grace and ease. And generating hope helps us get into this abundance or this sense of knowing that we have everything we need to succeed, even connecting us to this idea that we have a masterpiece within. We have this potential that we have access to. And you could see that as a form of grace, actually, that we have this potential and that what we need to do is understand how to access it. And so when I talk about grace, what is it? It's having abundance. It's having a way forward, even though we may not see it. There's this potential we have, this masterpiece that allows us to access things, and we don't have to earn it. It's just there. And one of the things I want to talk about is this idea of it's there when we need it if we know how to access it. So the most important thing is how do we access it? And how do we get more recognition of that it's there, it's available to us in the moment. And so for me, I would say I've been pursuing excellence and wisdom for some time now. And recently, I can't tell you if it was 10 years ago, 15 years ago, but at some point, the light dawned on my head. And I realized, dude, you're trying too hard and you're making this too complicated and you want it too badly. It's one thing to want it, but you want it where you're craving and everything is uptight and you're always looking to see how you're doing instead of being focused on what you're doing. And so once I was able to see that I wanted to pursue excellence with grace and ease, then I had to realize that slow is smooth and smooth is fast. And the only way I could do that is to have the willingness to be vulnerable and know that I had abundance, that I'm going to get there. I don't know when, but I just have to trust that I can get there. And so slow is smooth and smooth is fast. And what happens is that I end up getting into flow a lot, or just because I'm doing this two-step process of number one, do what I know to do. And number two, the next step will be given to me. And then I start to get this rhythm, this flow. And I would say that flow is grace in action without an actor. And so I'm not there when that happens. And what I mean by that, I don't have the self consciousness of worrying about how I'm doing, where I have grace and ease so I can just let go and let be. And that if I were to talk about it from a moment to moment process, it really comes down to what we talk about embracing whatever comes up, saying yes to it, but at the same time, just noticing what's there, relaxing, and then letting go, letting be. And so I'll have an intention. Let's say I have an intention that I want to do something. So I form the intention and then I just allow it to happen. Now that's challenging because we want to know how we're doing, but when we have access to that grace, this ability to know that it's going to be okay, we expect things to turn out. And so I just allow it to happen. And so when I'm in the eye of the hurricane, when I'm not driven by desire or fear, I'm just being in the moment, and moment to moment, I'm just taking things and saying yes to them, generating the hope and doing what I know to do. And the next step will be given to me. It doesn't mean I don't have a plan or I'm not thinking about where I want to go. Yes, I have all of that. But then in the moment, I got to let that go and just focus on what's happening now. Just do the one thing now, and then the next step will be given. And so sometimes I may have an idea of it, but when I'm pursuing excellence and wisdom with grace and ease, that's what I have. I have this ease and I have this grace where slow is smooth, smooth is fast. Slow motion gets you there quicker. This is antithetical to how we're thinking. So that's the key, that everything we do, especially during this holiday season, I feel like there's a lot happening and I'm kind of tired. And so the only way I can get through it with grace and ease is it's just to do what I know to do. And the next step will be given to me.